DBSCG things.
What is up, you guys? My name is Taxon and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG things, and today I'm bringing you another exciting deck profile. This one specifically my locals first place Cooler Mill deck profile. But before I get into it, guys, I do want to say I'm sorry for how long it has been since I've posted, for I did go to Gen Con, and being out of state for so long kind of just set me back, but now I'm back. So with that being said, guys, if you are new here, go ahead, go down, hit the subscribe. Also consider hitting the bell so that you are notified every single time I upload a video. And just with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile. Let me turn this camera around and show you what is up. Alright, you guys, so here we are with my cooler deck that I went 3-0 with at my recent local. I versed a mirror match for the final. I versed Red Bardock's Crew for round 2, and then round 1, I versed Gogeta Xeno. Great matches with all of them. Luckily enough, Gogeta Xeno was just having terrible RNG, and I was able to get to like a turn where I could safely place my Unison, and then just gain advantage from there, and then eventually win. Game 2 against Bardock's Crew, it was relatively easy, being that Bardock's Crew just relies on putting so many bodies in the board, allowing me just to neg them and help my mill strategy. Big thing in that matchup was that my opponent struggled seeing his 5-cost Bardock's Crew, allowing me to see later turns and allow me just to keep boarding more and more minus. So, game 3, I versed my mirror match. Really grindy match. The biggest thing was I do not run Unisons, so being that he ran the Piccolo Jr. Unison, I was able to just swing into his Unison after awakening, and then just taking control of the game that way by not giving him a combo step, and then just floodgating through his opposing turn so that I can just stop all of his chances for a combo step in order to put his coolers into play, which inevitably just got me the game. So with that being said, I'll dive into the deck, guys. So here's the leader. On the front side, you attack a leader, you draw. He has an auto. When one of your opponent's battle card's power is decreased by one of your skills, your opponent places the top card of their deck into the drop area. There's also another auto that if you do minus one of your opponent's battle cards on your opponent's turn, you can draw a card. His awakening is at 4 or less, stand on draw one. On the back side, he's essentially the same thing, but his auto, when he attacks, you do not have to attack the leader anymore to draw. Also, you can do the draw for minusing a battle card on your turn as well. So, there's the leader, guys. Let's get into the deck. Start off talking about some of my negates. I run for the Oceanus. I originally ran this at 3. After playtesting a few times, I just figured that this card was absolutely needed at a 4. Anytime I'm versing an aggro deck, I just slam this down. Like today against Gogeta Xeno, turn 3 I was able to drop this, and then going into turn 4 when he had Super Kamehameha, I paid 2, I dropped it, he Super Kamehameha'd it, and then going into his next tech, I just dropped another one, and eventually just stopped his entire turn once again. So, hands down, just a great negate. You need to play this at 4. I run 2 Topo. 2 Topo is questionable in my opinion. Most of the time I either charge this card or just combo it in order to get an arrival off. It's great and all for my aggro matchups, but in most situations I never use it. Like the only time I used it today in the 3 matches that I did play was against my mirror match, and that was only to stop my opponent's getting that combo stage so that he couldn't minus any of my battle cards. Next up, we run 4 Bean. 4 Bean's just absolutely staple. You need to run 4 Bean. Not much to say about that card. I run 2 Violent Rays. This is a card that I would keep more copies of in my sideboard. Violent Rays is just absolutely nasty, stopping basically entire turns. So let's get into a few counterplays that I run, guys. I run 2 Mach Speed Kaioken Goku. This card is a counterplay. Play this card if you have a multicolor card in your energy. He's reduced by 1, so he's a 2 cost on your opponent's turn. When you play this card, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards minus by 10, and then if it's your opponent's turn, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus by 5. I like this card a lot because it's basically a pay 2 mill 2. If your opponent plays anything 15k or higher, you can just target it twice, mill 2, and draw a card with your backside's effect. So, in my opinion, very good. Also, it helps a lot against Gogeta Xeno when they're just playing a whole bunch of little 1-drops. You can hit 2 of them in its second window. So if they're playing the deflect ones, you can still get this into field and then also minus them. So one of the things to consider there. Second counterplay I run is 2 of the Vegeta. Not much to say about this card. This card is just kind of just staple and cooler. He's a 3 cost board wipe minus 20k and then being your leader essentially. So whenever your opponent goes to play a card, you would tap 3, play this card. You would choose everything in your opponent's battle area and minus it by 20. And then this card will essentially trigger your leader for the mill. Not much more to say about that. Secret rare of choice, and basically the only secret rare that you should play in this deck is Gohanks, in my opinion. I personally like to play this card for 5, but you can play it for 4, but being that blue-yellow is just so relevant right now, I will never play this for 4. It comes out, minuses 25, ignoring barrier your opponent's entire field, getting your leader's mill off, and also setting you up with a great +1 or -4. So the +1 is whenever your opponent attacks with a battle card, you get to choose that card and minus it by 25,000 power, so that's just absolutely phenomenal. This card's also a dual attack and a blocker, so you can either swing twice with it or swing once with it and then block with it. The -4 is phenomenal if you decide just to pay 5 and then get it off right away. You get to give the card +15 in triple strike, essentially getting to swing in twice for 40k triple strike, so it's just really, really good. So getting into some of the other cards of the deck, we run 4 of this 1-drop Frieza. This card's just super, super good. And being that yellow and blue are just so relevant in the format right now, this card actually can stick on board for a few turns. Yellow, really, they have to like power a Super Saiyan this thing to rest it and then swing into it if they really want to. There's a couple other things they can do, but most of the time it's relatively hard. Blue, they're most of the time going to have to waste one of their Bojack engine pieces in order to get that in play and then bounce this under your deck. So, in my opinion, great card. Also, I really love using this card in sequencing with your Leader's Awakening. Being able to get the minus and draw and yada yada. Next card we have up is 3 combo attack Cooler. This card is just absolutely phenomenal. Being that it's a 0+5k blue card in the deck, so that I can combo with it if I need to get blue into my combo area. It's just really, really good. The activate battle is what makes the card the best. You get to bounce any cooler, well, basically any cooler, any Frieza clan card back to your hand, and then play this card, and it essentially gives you an auto that whenever you attack with it, or it gets attacked, you get to combo with a red-blue multicolored card from your drop area. So, if you really wanted to, if this is on field, you can bounce it, get this into field, and allow you to offensively start comboing and then rivaling your coolers without having to actually drop a super combo from hand. Next up, getting into the multicolor package, guys. We got 4 of the Frieza Checkland. Not much to say about the card. You really just need this card in the deck. In my opinion, honestly, red-blue just needs a new card in general that just has energy exhaust. Maybe a new one that you can combo with for free. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, this card doesn't really do much for the deck besides going to your energy for free. Great card. Stops. Energy exhaust comes in untapped. Next card, we have 2 Cooler Clan Avenger. I absolutely love this card, guys. I put this in my deck, and this is what won me my matchup against my mirror. I ended up boarding 2 of these, and then every single time I went into his turn, I would just flood negate, and he wouldn't be able to get a combo phase to actually minus it. So basically every single turn when he tried to swing, I would negate, it would stop his turn, he'd pass, and then he'd mill 2 because I boarded 2 of these. Anyways, this card, in my opinion, is just really, really good, being that it has barrier. Blue struggles removing this, yellow struggles removing this. Those are the 2 colors, in my opinion, that are just doing very, very well right now. This card, though it may be hard to board against blue, it's still a great card to board against yellow, and also if you can squeeze it in against blue, get it in there. With that being said, guys, it's just it minuses 15 something on play when it comes in, so it triggers your leader effect for a draw. And if you're on your backside when you play it, you do get not a draw. I'm sorry, you get it for a mill. And then if you are on the backside, you get a draw as well. So that's really clutch. Next card we got 4 Beerus Super Combo. Not much to say about the card, just staple in the deck in general. You combo with it, you stand on your multicolor energy. Next up, we got 4 of this Cooler. You guys know what he does. He comes out for 1 red, essentially making these 2 a pair. Just absolutely phenomenal. You can tap yourself out if you really needed to. Stand up a multi, and then arrival this immediately. He mills 1 once he's played, and then chooses 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and minuses them by 10,000 power. Very, very good along with your leader, because him for 1 energy is essentially a mill 3, and also it just helps with keeping the board clear. Next card, we have 3 of the new Cooler Champ Pack card. This is a card I'd probably cut to 2. I do like it at 3 though, because if I do end up seeing it in my opening hand, I do feel confident charging it, because I know I have 2 others in copies in deck, and also it makes it more reliable to go into Mecha Frieza. on your second turn and then just charging it straight up on your first turn. But that's just my opinion. Sometimes I do just use Mecha straight up. That's only if I don't have a dead card like this in my hand on turn 1. Next up on my rival list, I only run 2 of this card. This card would probably get bumped up. I'd probably bump Topo down and just put this at 4. But unfortunately, I only own 2 copies of this card, so that's just how it is. That's how I gotta play it. The deck still functions just as well. Like I said, that's why I run Combo Attack Cooler as well. The biggest thing about Majin Buu is that he's gonna draw a card, minus a card, and then bounce your Cooler back to hand. So that's why I decided to run Cooler at a higher number, is because I don't have 4 of these. So with that being said, we're gonna get into what I like to call the yellow package. We run 4 of the Draw Ape. Not much to say about it. Really helps you in your hand destruction matches. So if you're versing Cell Surge or something, you can just discard this. Opposing turn, pay 2, draw 2 more. Next up, we run 4 of the Bardock Eliminator. Also, not too much to say about this card. This card is just really, really nasty. Essentially being a half cost and half priced version of this. These cards just keep this deck's hand very, very nice. Especially with the fact that you got 4 beans and these super combos allowing you to just constantly be withstanding energy. Just makes it to where these cards are just pure value. And also tagged along with the fact that we're running 3 of these Beerus's, it just adds a lot of unique techie options to the deck. Being able to combo with the Beerus, withstanding one of our multis, and then comboing with an Ape. Setting up plays where we can either rival Beerus or Cooler. We can either do both of them or just one. Honestly, Beerus is what saved me in my Gogeta Xeno match. I was looking out to lose. I took a double strike down to 1 life. He swung in for my 1 life. And he only had a few cards left in deck. And luckily enough, I ended up pulling one of these out of my life. He swung in. He had a couple 1-drops in rest. I comboed super combo and basically did this exact play. Stood my energy up, comboed this, and then dropped this guy, draw out a card, and then milled my opponent too. So that there, and then also just killing his 1-drops, I was allowing him to put in those final pressures, really helped me out in that matchup. So these cards are just really, really good in general, keeping a lot of hand advantage against Cell Surge or any hand destruction, or also just adding this cards for a rival for your aggro matchups, and then also just having apes so that you can keep your hand fat. Playing with Gohan Icarus is just relatively important. But with that being said, guys, this is my deck. Those were my battles. I hope you guys enjoyed it. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys find the time to go down, hit those buttons, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys like this content. With that being said, guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.